It was a cold night in Beijing, November 14, 1995. The wind howled through the narrow alleys of the city like an old woman wailing in pain. Most people were home, tucked under thick quilts, away from the chill that seemed to crawl under your skin and settle in your bones. But for some, the night was still young. Route 375 was the last public bus of the night. It left Yuanminjiwan Garden Station at exactly 11:40 p.m., heading toward Xiangshan, the fragrant hills. It was known as the Midnight Line by locals, a quiet, slow ride through sleeping neighborhoods, picking up the odd late worker or tired student along the way. On that particular night, there were only a handful of people waiting at the station. A middle-aged man in a gray coat, carrying groceries. An elderly woman bundled in scarves. And a young couple, leaning into each other for warmth. When the bus pulled up, its headlights dim, its wipers squeaking, they stepped on board, along with the driver and a single young male conductor. The ride began just like any other. The driver stared ahead, face unreadable. The conductor stood quietly by the back, humming to himself. The passengers said nothing. The bus rolled forward through the sleeping city, headlights cutting through the mist that clung low to the ground. About 10 minutes in, the bus came to an unscheduled stop. The door opened with a hiss. 3 figures stepped on board. One was a man, tall, pale, dressed in traditional Chinese robes. Behind him were 2 others, also dressed in long, dark garments that hung like funeral drapes. Their heads were bowed. Their movements were slow, almost unreal. They didn't speak. They didn't pay the fare. They walked to the back of the bus and sat down, one in each corner, as if trying to stay away from everyone else. The conductor looked confused but said nothing. The driver didn't even glance in the mirror. Something shifted in the air. The bus grew colder. And nobody, nobody, wanted to be the one to break the silence. 10 minutes passed. Maybe 15. The passengers tried not to look, but it was impossible not to feel it, the presence of something unnatural. The way the 3 newcomers moved, soundless. The way the mist outside seemed to thicken, wrapping the windows in fog until the city was just a shadow behind glass. The elderly woman sitting near the front suddenly turned to the young man across from her. She whispered, urgently. That man, the one in the back, he has no legs. The young man blinked. What? I'm telling you, she said, voice trembling. They're not sitting. They're floating. He looked back, trying not to be obvious. And now that she'd said it, he saw it too. The way the robes hung too perfectly, swaying just slightly above the floor. No feet. No movement in their bodies. They weren't breathing. The old woman stood up. She turned to the driver and shouted, "Stop the bus. I forgot my wallet. We have to get off right now." The driver blinked in the mirror but said nothing. The woman turned to the conductor. "You can't let us stay on here. I left something. He left something. We need to get off." The conductor hesitated. The driver finally sighed and pulled over near a small intersection with no streetlights. The woman grabbed the young man's wrist and yanked him out of his seat. They stepped off into the freezing night. The bus doors closed behind them with a hiss. And it drove away, back into the fog. Gone. The young man stood there, confused, his breath visible in the air. What was that? What just happened? The old woman looked him dead in the eyes. "I saved your life," she said. The next morning, headlines splashed across Beijing newspapers. Bus 375 missing, last seen near Xiangshan. No driver. No conductor. No passengers. No sign of the vehicle. The bus had vanished without a trace. The authorities searched every possible route. No accident reports. No broken glass. No tire tracks. Nothing. It was as if the bus had been swallowed whole by the night. The families of the passengers demanded answers. The bus company released a vague statement. Police chalked it up to a mechanical error. Some even suggested the bus had been hijacked. But late that evening, a single piece of news spread through whispers. The bus was found. It was discovered at the edge of the Miyun Reservoir, dozens of miles off route, abandoned and half submerged in the icy water. Inside, there was no one. Not the driver. Not the conductor. Not a single passenger. But there were strange things. The fuel tank was filled with blood. The onboard CCTV system had been destroyed. The windshield cracked from the inside. Scratch marks covered the metal interior, some high up, higher than any person could reach. The bus was towed and quietly hidden from the public. Officials were told not to speak. The case was closed without answers. And the 3 floating passengers were never seen again. Weeks later, a man showed up at a Beijing police station. Unshaven, shaking, and barefoot. He claimed to be the conductor of bus 375. At first, the police didn't believe him. They thought he was just another attention seeker. But he knew things, details only the actual conductor could know. They gave him hot tea and a blanket. And then, in a low voice, he told them what happened. He said the 3 passengers were not human. He couldn't explain it, only that the air turned electric when they boarded. That something in his bones told him they were not of this world. That they were watching everyone, silently. That their eyes glowed faintly, like coals in the dark. He said the old woman knew. That she had seen spirits before. And when she forced the young man to get off with her, he knew something was wrong. But it was too late. He said the driver went into a trance. His eyes rolled back. The bus veered off course. They passed the same stretch of road again and again, like time was folding in on itself. The 3 passengers floated to the front. And then everything went black. The conductor said he woke up in the woods. Miles from the city. No shoes. No phone. No memory of how he got there. He had walked for 3 days to get back. The police never confirmed his identity. The man disappeared again before any formal investigation could continue. Some say he was real. Others say he was a cover story. But to this day, Beijing locals still whisper about the ghost bus. Route 375 was cancelled shortly after. The city claimed it was due to low usage. But those who lived near Xiangshan knew better. They say that if you're walking alone at night, near where the old route used to run, you might hear the hiss of bus doors. See headlights cutting through fog. And if you board it, you'll see 3 passengers in the back. Dressed in robes. Silent. Floating. Waiting for you to sit down.